The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over a many quiet and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished that morrow vainly I had sought to borrow from my books her case of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore. For the rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, nameless hair for evermore, and the silken sad uncate, and rustling of each purple curtain, thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, this some visitor entreating in trance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating in trance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. Sir said, or Madame, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. I opened wide the door. Darkness there and nothing more. Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming, dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was whispered war. Lenore, this I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, Lenore, merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon I heard again a tapping, somewhat louder than before. Surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what there is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart still be still a moment, and this mystery explore. There's the wind and nothing more. Open her, I flung the shutter when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not an instant stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiled my sad fancy into smiling, but the grave and stern decorum of countenances it were, though thy crest be shorn, a raven though I said, art sure not craven, ghastly grim and ancient raving, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marvel this ungainly fowl to hear discourse too plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpture bust above his chamber door. With such a name was nevermore, but the raving sitting lonely on the placid bust spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said nevermore, startled at the stillness broken by replies so aptly spoken. Doubtless, said I, what it utters, it is only stuck in store, caught from some unhappy master whom, when merciful disaster, followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirge of his hope and melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the railway still bugling as my sad soul into smiling straight I wheel, a cushioned seat in front of a bird, bust I door. Then upon the velvet sinking I betook my linking fancy into fancy, thinking what is ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly count and monotonous bird of yore, minting, croaking, nevermore, this, that, nevermore. This I dressing but not syllably expressing to the foul woes, fear eyes now burned into my bosom core, this and more I sat driving with my head each week cycling, on the cushion's velvet linking that the lamplight floated over. But those velvet violet lining with the lamplight floating over, she shall press and nevermore. Then methought the air-grieved dancer perfumed an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, though God hath lent thee by the angels he hath sent thee, respite, respite, and nepenthe from my memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this can nepenthe, and forgot this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still a bird of devil. Whether scent or whether tempest tossed their hay ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, oh, this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore. Is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, but that heaven that bends above us by the God we both adore. Shall this soul with sorrow laden, within the distant Aidenn, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Wait a word or sing the parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked them starting, get thee back into the tempest at the night's platoon shore. Leave no black gloom as a token of that lie thy soul has spoken, leave my loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door. Take the beat from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven never flitting, still sitting on the pallid bust of palace, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of demons that is dreaming, and the lamplight over streaming throws shadow on the floor, and my soul from out the shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Yeah, hello there, everybody. That was The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. And to make the story shorter, it's about a man who meets a bird, a raven, and it seems to be the lost Lenore that he talked about in the book. Uh, it is published in 1845. 1845. That's when the romantic literary books and the romantic era. That's when they started to write horror novels like Frankenstein, Vampire, and Prometheus, and things like that. It's my favorite era because I love Edgar Allan Poe and H.P Lovecraft and more. Yeah, it's a quite scary story, but I think it's a good story. I can give you book tips if you want. The Poet by Michael Connolly. It's about Edgar Allan Poe's writings. It's a very, very thrilling book. Thank you.